Before we get into today's lesson, I want to explain to you a few educational philosophies that I have. The first educational philosophy is that of lecturing. I kind of believe in it. Now, honestly, I'm a hands-on person. I learn the most when I do it. Like, I learn a lot while I'm teaching you. I'm going to become a better glamper because of it. But getting down to the basics is something that's very, very necessary in really anything you learn. Do you know who Vince Lombardi is? He was the first Super Bowl coach. He led the Green Bay Packers to the first 2 Super Bowls. And he's noted for a very famous speech he gave to his professional football players, the best football players in the entire league, by holding up a football and saying to these professionals, "This is a football." I'm kind of doing the same thing. This is glamping. And I want to share with you what glamping is to the most basic level. That's why the first sessions together are really the basics. That's why I share you the basics of my story last week, the fears. Today we're going to go into the history and the definition of glamping. This is very, very important fundamentals that you just need to sit down and listen to the coach. And ultimately, it'll make you a better player in the game of glamping. The second educational philosophy that I very much believe in is modeling. The definition of modeling is a teaching strategy where educators demonstrate a particular skill, behavior, or concept for students, providing a clear example for them to observe and learn from. Now, I've already been using this strategy on you. That's why the whole first session is all about me. The point isn't like arrogance or like, oh, look at me, how great I am. The point is that, hey, I'm doing it this way, and I want you to model me and do even better. Glamping has certain fundamental concepts that if you apply them, you will succeed. This whole idea of modeling is true for all areas of education. And the last educational philosophy that I want you to be aware of is one that ties to my debate coaching, and that's called let the research guide you. Some of my students would 7th grade students, they're 12, 13 years old. They're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. They think they got the world all figured out. They would come to my debate class and I would give them the resolution, what we're going to be debating in the next tournament. They would come up with their ideas of how to solve it. And I'd say, just hold your horses, young Jedi. What you need to do is you need to research more about the topic. There's whole think tanks and politicians and advocacy groups and philosophers and all there's people who dedicate their whole lives to these topics. Well, a much more successful strategy is to study the people who have come before you. And taking that time, that educational time to just study and research and gather information, become a sponge, will ultimately lead to success. And I've got the trophies to prove it. Now, I hope this little spiel about educational philosophies gives you confidence in me, for one thing, but also gives you confidence in yourself. And the reason is because this isn't rocket science. Anybody could really set up a glamping operation and start making some money. Just know that once you identify a formula or a framework or a concept that's really important, set out to master those. We're here to set up safe, legal, and profitable glamping operations, learn the material, and then launch. It really is as simple as that. And the rest of the world's going to catch on, and there's going to be a lot of competition in the future. But right now there's not. So I'm glad you and I are in on this, and we're going to crush it.